how do you prevent in a future conflict the Russian or the Chinese or some adversarial government shooting down some of our mass communications or some of the military's most prized assets in space? Is there a way to prevent that?
So we know that in the same way that space has come to underpin our modern way of life, it also is the biggest enabler to the way we conduct military operations. In the United States, we don't like to fight home games, we fight away games whenever we can, keep the threat there, not here. And to do that requires the ability to project power globally. And that means you have to be able to do command and control around the entire Earth, largely over places that wouldn't let you to bring the cell towers with you, right? And so to do that, you have a global network of communications capabilities for command and control purposes. When you get there, you have to do something useful. You have to know what's going on, and so that's why you have your remote sensing capabilities to image the Earth and figure out where the bad guys are. And then, once you figure out where the bad guys are, what's over the next hill, you've got to be able to do something useful, cause some effect. And that's where your precision navigation and timing comes into place. Because you can put metal on target very, very accurately in a way that causes the effect that you want and minimizes the chance of any civilian casualties as you do it. And so all of these effects that you're trying to create are enabled by space. Now, some of the potential adversaries that you mentioned have been watching this. They've gone to school on the way we do business. And they've understood the way we rely upon space to make ourselves so accurate, so fast, and so effective. And they've done two things. They've invested an awful lot of money and done an awful lot of testing in systems that will do two things. One, they will replicate that capability for themselves to the extent they can. And two, they will try to take that capability away from us in time of conflict. Now, at the same way they watched us, we've been watching them. And we know what their systems are capable of doing. We also know what they're not capable of doing. And so we spent the last 3 to 4 years doing the planning, making the necessary changes to ensure that our systems are resilient in the face of the known threats. And there's a number of ways you can do that, right? We have been we've been undergoing a systematic, comprehensive review since 2014 of all of our space systems, understanding what they can do and how they do it, and making plans to make them more robust in their generational change, in their next line of systems. So in the same way that they're transforming on the commercial side, we're transforming on the military side. So we've reviewed that. We've looked at what information we need to be able to make these decisions. We've looked at the intelligence, and we've decided that one of the first things we have to do is improve our space situational awareness capabilities. So that network of telescopes and radars, they're all getting an upgrade. In addition to SSA capabilities on the ground, we've also been putting them in space. We have systems in space that can watch what other folks are doing. So if they're trying anything sneaky, we'll be able to know it.
But is there any space anti-missile technology presently available that you're allowed to just briefly discuss? And why, if the Chinese did this in 2007, why did the review happen in 2014?
So there's two questions there. The first is, are there technologies that can be used to counter threats that others have posed against us? Certainly, there are changes that we have made based upon what we know about the threat. Some of those changes have taken some degree of research and development over time in order to come to fruition. They're now being instantiated into the systems that we have. And the review in 2013 was based upon the result of that analysis. What do we want to employ where? Now, because we don't want to employ every possible countermeasure with every possible system, it gets really, really expensive. So the review that we did in 14 was, okay, what do we need to do where to pinpoint exactly what vulnerabilities we want to mitigate? And that's been done. So now we understand where we can make ourselves much more robust than we were in a number of ways. One, by attacking the plan for the next generation of systems. By the way we operate the systems we have today, we fly them completely differently now than we used to. And we use different training for the people that do the work. We have different concepts of operation in the can, just in case. And we have a different suite of command and control software that accounts for the fact that some of those outages may be the result of a potential adversary action. So we can provide, we have a defensive posture in space. We want, believe me, we want to be, to encourage the peaceful use of space. The last thing anybody wants to do is get involved in a conflict that extends from the ground up to space, for all the reasons we've talked about. But if someone were to try something, we want to make it very clear that based upon all these steps that we've taken, and the fact that not only have we built in protection, but we've also built in multiple ways to solve the problem, multiple ways to get the remote sensing, multiple ways to get the missile warning, multiple ways to get the communications, that if they try to take an entire capability away, that they will not succeed, that they will fail if they try to take on the United States. And so